Hey people, how's it going? I'm Jim and you've landed on Planet Rewind. And it is, of course, the Christmas season. I'm going to be doing some Christmas videos, but I did want to do a video in honour of Sean Connery, who of course recently died. I've been super busy, haven't really been doing lots of videos recently, but I've wanted to do this. I genuinely do want to do a video in his memory. I was thinking, what can I do? What can I do in honour of Sir Sean? I thought, why not just watch one of his best films, well, his best James Bond film, some say the best James Bond film, and just watch it, you know, and share my reactions with you guys and just pay tribute to the man himself. What a fantastic James Bond he was, what a legend of cinema. So let's do it. In this video we're going to be watching Goldfinger, and we're going to be passing judgment. We're going to be looking at it. Well, it won't be, not necessarily passing judgment, just nerding out really, and remembering the legend that was Sean Connery as James Bond. I always found Sean Connery's gun barrel bit the most classic, but I guess it's because he's the first Bond, but it's like Bond eventually stopped wearing a hat in the gun barrel sequence, and I always liked it when Bond wore a hat, and I think that was only Sean Connery. I think George Lazenby does do it, but Roger Moore, from then on, the hat was gone. I miss Bond wearing a hat. I feel like by this movie, Sean Connery really had developed the style of Bond. I feel like Dr. No and From Russia with Love, they were great films, but they really were trying to find the formula. And Goldfinger just does. And just immediately you get the feeling that there's this fearless energy running throughout this film, and you just get the feeling that Sean Connery was untouchable at this point. This film was going to be a classic. I also feel like it's his best performance as Bond. I feel like it's the most he's into the character, you know. He knew what he wanted to do. Like, the vision was so clear. My ambition in life to just find one occasion where I can justify wearing that white tux. But I guess I could just wear it to anything, really. Just gotta have the guts. Just turn up in a white tux from the 60s James Bond film. I love that. That's so memorable. So casual the way Bond comes in. He just looks, it's so cool. Like, just looks at the clock. It blows up and he just strolls in, like, oh, I love it. Just that you know, effortless charisma of Sean Connery, effortless confidence. Yeah, I forgot how he sees it. That's used in Austin Powers, but it's also in other James Bond films. I think Roger Moore does it in Spy Love Me. He sees the reflection in the eyes of the girl. Like, how would you? Imagine being that inquisitive, you're looking at someone's eyes, and in that split second you see someone coming behind the girl in a reflection. Only James Bond, just that quickness. He's always alert. Even when he's in the arms of a woman, he's always alert. All of the themes try and get to this level. It's incredible voice she's got, Shirley Bassey. The theme is also translated into other popular culture, such as Alan Partridge.
Touch a cold finger, pretty girl, beware of his web of sin, but don't go in.
You don't know what that is? Look up Alan Partridge, everyone out there. If you would thank me. He loves only gold. What about his kids? Ah, fuck them, just gold. It's Felix Leiter, James Bond's informant, played by 9,000 actors in the series. There he is, Gert Frobe as Goldfinger. The bizarre thing about it is he doesn't look intimidating. Like, you look at the Bond villains today, they look scary. You know, like, you know, they look intimidating. Christoph Waltz, you know, they got the creepy vibe. You know, the gentleman from Skyfall, which I can't remember his name, but you know, and the one that's going to be in No Time to Die, they have to be scary, you know, and even in the old ones they have to be scary, but Gert Frobe was just a megalomaniac, you know, he was just, the terror was inside of him, you know, just that evil, but just the swagger, the presence, the believability. And obviously here's where you see why Jill was one of the most memorable Bond girls, despite only being in it for seconds. You know, it's this image here, I mean, you've got to take your hat off to Guy Hamilton. It's a phenomenal image. It's disturbing, it's sad, it's odd, it's... Look at that, guys. That's terrifying. That's like... That's up there in movie... That's pure movie history right there. That actress, you know, went down in movie history with a seconds long role. That's terrifying, man. Imagine if there was someone who existed like that. You know, so obsessed with gold or a colour that they kill you by painting you that colour, and just it's very odd. And at the time, man, seeing this in the 60s, it still shocks me today. I'm shocked by this. Poor old Jill. Bond was going to stay with her for at least another 20 minutes, but, you know. Suppose, like, for example, when you think of Star Trek or these shows where characters do have the whole body painted, I guess they can't do it for a certain amount of time, or they literally will die. It's one of my best Q branch scenes. Look how young Q looks. I mean, he never looked young, but look how young he looks compared to, you know.
It's not perfected yet. Where's my bed? Oh, it's had its day, I'm afraid.
I feel like the Sean Connery Bond and Q had a different relationship to the Roger Moore and Q. Like, Roger Moore deliberately just tried to piss off Q, whereas Sean Connery genuinely was inquisitive, but he would just... Q would have such a short temper with him, and Sean Connery could tell he didn't mean to piss him off. So the Aston Martin, again, it's the first time we saw it. Such an iconic car to the point where they're still using it in the Daniel Craig bloody movies. It's one of the coolest cars of all time, innit, let's be honest. I love this. This is one of my favourite exchanges ever between Q and Bond. The genuinity of it.
Whatever you do, don't touch it. No, why not? Because you'll release this section of the roof and engage and fire the passenger ejector seat.
Ejector seat, you're joking.
I never joke about my work, 007.
What I love about that scene is, why is Q so shocked that Bond would question an ejector seat? Yeah, I'll just fucking... I suppose in the next film, he was giving him bloody jetpacks. So ejector seat is normal, I guess. By fucking Moonraker, he's sending him to the bloody moon. So I guess there's no limits to what Q can accomplish. Elon Musk, eat your heart out. It's one of the best villain hero moments in any movie ever. Simple as that. This is, you know, electric chemistry. And also contains one of the greatest lines of a villain ever.
I think you've made your point, Goldfinger. Thank you for the demonstration.
Imagine the fear, guys. Laser slowly going up the table towards your nads. I feel like Goldfinger's one of those villains who's so involved with his work, he's convinced himself he's good. You know, and he's so psychotic, he's convinced himself he's good. And those are the scariest Bond villains, the ones who think that they're sane, you know. Again, one of the most memorable lines in all of cinema. I love Bond still cracking those gags, still cracking those charming wisecracks, even in the jaws of death. What a sexist pig. Still making those jokes about a woman's name. But to be fair, it is a bit of a mental name. That's up there with the... like, it's literally... Like, it was literally selected as, this is the name we're going to give this character, and we're standing by it. We believe it's acceptable. What makes me laugh is the joke names that they come up with in Austin Powers. A lot of vagina, I wanna hump a lot. They're not even parodies. They're literally equivalents to what we saw in Bond. It's just like, yeah, Bond had these names, we will have them. They're not even taking the mick. Bond already had them. That absurd. You would not be surprised if there was a character with a lot of vagina or I wanna hump a lot. You would not. There's Holly Goodhead. There's plenty O'Toole. There's pussy galore.
You can turn off the charm. I'm immune.
And the character was apparently a lesbian in the books, and Bond turned her straight. So problematic in 2020, but you know, I mean, even this. I'm surprised people haven't come for Bond more in 2020 because, or you know, 2017 onwards when things started getting woke, because there is some questionable stuff in these movies, but you have to put it in the time frame. You just have to, because there was no capability for anyone to have any perspective. You know, this is why I don't get why we judge past, you know, TV shows or people on 2018, 2019, 2020 standards. Yes, it was wrong, but there was no way for them to have any perspective because the world was in that mind frame, which isn't great, you know, at all. But I think to dismiss it is to kind of, you know, to really kind of forget the journey that we're on, to be honest. Like all these people who are calling for Bond to be more woke, it's like they haven't watched a Bond film in 30 years. It's like the last film they watched is Sean Connery. Bond has been getting more and more progressive and accepting of women for years. There are suspect moments, but there are also moments where James Bond rescues women and helps them have a better life. Even if he's going to leave them shortly, they at least get out of the hands of terrorists and things like that. You know, and he'll trust women, he'll take them on as his sidekick, he'll listen to them. So he does, you know, it's not entirely misogynistic, this series. I feel it's just got that reputation because there is some suspect stuff coming up in this as well. Luckily, they don't really talk about Pussy Galore being a lesbian, because that would just be more touch and go, but they don't really mention it. But there's something later on, which we will talk about, which is quite dodgy. Now, I've obviously heard people go nuts about this scene, but then I've shown it to women who they haven't had a problem with the scene. I don't know, I feel like if you take the little moment in a minute where Bond is forcing her down and show it, yes, it looks like Bond's a rapist, but if you look at this here, they're already wrestling together, and Pussy Galore threw the first, you know, she drew first blood, if that makes sense. They were already fighting. Like, this is the moment they get shown. They cut here as proof that Bond rapes her. But they were already play fighting. I think that's a very important thing. And she doesn't... It's a little bit... I've got to say, it's a little bit suspect. I don't know how I fully feel about it. But I feel like they're selective of what they show. And I've shown it to women, and they never... I've shown it to several women, they don't have a problem whatsoever with the scene at all. So who knows, you know. I always thought that once I was told... When I was a kid, I didn't really have a problem with it either. It's weird, it's weird how... But should I have a problem with it? Who knows? Hey look, Goldfinger's got a golden gun. You just put it down. In fact, I think a golden gun. Way before Scaramanga, in The Man with the Golden Gun, Goldfinger had a bloody golden gun. Was that actually the golden gun from The Man with the Golden Gun, but Scaramanga nicked it off of Goldfinger's corpse or something? I don't know. It's literally a golden gun. I thought there was only one in existence that Scaramanga had. Jesus Christ, Oddjob. He means business. Don't fuck with Oddjob, man. Like, he doesn't just have to throw his hat at you, he can throw you. Yeah, I like this the way Guy Hamilton shoots this. So many stairs and passageways. Oddjob running, you know, frantically to get to Bond. Bond stuck, you hear Oddjob's footsteps. There's a great tension to this. I love the kind of steel everywhere, and where you can hear every footstep and every movement and every attempt. Yeah, and he throws the hat from the balcony. Like, such a tense moment, and very memorable. Again, you don't need these massive climaxes, necessarily, if you have something that is interesting. You know, like, this is... It's so cool, like... Oh, The actor who played Oddjob was so charismatic. I love that. Throwing a brick at him, it just bounces off him. Classic Bond villain archetype. Clap. James Bond going for a headlock. And Oddjob throws him into the wall. It's like WWE. And James Bond's got the 2x4. An Oddjob. Ah! In the face with a 2x4 and he just smiles back at him. Yeah, there's no music to this. You just hear their footsteps and they're fighting and they're down and dirty like wrestling. That always appealed to me, you know. Usually in these climaxes you've got loads of Bond music and sound effects. This is just their bodies and the sound they make on the steel. And it gives it this real down and dirty intensity. It's one of my favourite fights. Probably in a movie, to be honest. But definitely in a Bond movie. Look at him, he's like Frankenstein, isn't it? Jaws was almost an extension of Oddjob, more of a crazy version. And Bond's gonna go with the hat. Eat your own fucking hat, bitch. Okay, he's ready for the hat. He's ready for it to be used against him. Oh. What is that hat made of, by the way? Because it looks like normal material, so what's it got? Just weird implants in it. I love that. That was smart by Bond. I really like that. Quick thinking, quick wit of James Bond, quick decision making. I love that. What a great way to defeat Oddjob. It kept Oddjob strong, and it kept Bond the underdog, but it also made Bond cool by doing it. Mashing Bond here. Oh fuck! I'm fucking finished. If I don't get this, I am fucking finished. Oh shit! What do I do? It's 15 seconds. What are you gonna do, Sean? Just takes the gamble. And there you go. I do feel like the next film... I haven't watched it in years, Thunderball. Maybe I should do a commentary whilst I watch Thunderball, you know, if you guys are interested. Maybe I should do this for more James Bond films. But Thunderball was a real step down, I remember. Just wasn't... Sean Connery never reached these heights again. You know, Guy Hamilton came back for Diamonds Are Forever. And I like Diamonds Are Forever, but it's such a step down from Goldfinger. It was lightning in a bottle, Goldfinger, you know. They thought, let's get Guy Hamilton back, let's get Sean Connery back. But they just couldn't recapture this incredible movie magic, really. It was, you know, it's a combination of the right cast, the right actors, the right, you know, the right style of filmmaking, everything. There you go, still alive. Oh shit. I wonder if Bond ever feels pissed off that whenever the mission's over, he can't relax because there's always a chance they're coming back. It's like, I killed him, but yeah, possibly not. I always remember this effect of Goldfinger going out the window. Nonsense. Classic. It is one of my favourite James Bond lines ever, James Bond jokes, when he runs in to see Pussy. What he says about Goldfinger, it's priceless. It's Sean Connery's dry wit at its best. Get ready.
What happened? Where's Golden?
Golden Harp.
Playing his golden harp, I love it. Oh, classic. You know, his humour was so dry, whereas Roger Moore would just try and do straight up jokes. Sean Connery's humour was so dry and delivered in such that deadpan style. There you go. Straight into the water and they're still alive because that's Bond.
Oh, no, you don't. This is no time to be rescued.
Well, to be fair, James, it probably is, because how the fuck are we going to get home, mate? Once we've done 10 hours of romping, how the fuck are we going to get home, mate? Because, you know, we're stuck on a deserted island and the plane's gone, the helicopter's buggered off. Think about it, James. What a wonderful piece of work, guys. By far, you know, my favourite's GoldenEye. This is my second favourite. I love it. I love everything about the film. I just feel like, again, they stumbled upon movie magic. I feel like Sean Connery, it's the best performance as James Bond. Pussy Galore is such an iconic, beautiful, charismatic, fabulous, memorable Bond girl. Gert Frober's Goldfinger is one of my favourite James Bond villains by far. Odd Job, one of my favourite henchmen by far. The Aston Martin. You know, the glamour of the direction, you know, which really, every Bond film, they never really captured it again this well. You know, just such a genuine celebrity feel to it, and glamour, and obviously one of the best James Bond themes. I just thought I'd do this commentary to just pay tribute and just enjoy watching Sean Connery, and I really am saddened the fact that Roger Moore and Sean Connery both are not here anymore, because they're such icons to me growing up. They really, really are. Let me know if you want to see me do any other commentaries on any other Bond films or any other movies or whatever it is. I'm going to be doing some Christmas movie reviews because, hey, it's Christmas. Let me know what you think of Goldfinger in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the sad news of Sean Connery passing. What's your favourite Sean Connery Bond? Let me know. I will see you guys next time. Please consider subscribing if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon.